Hello Internet, welcome to Monday the 25th of March 2019 with me, Dakian, here to ramble at you about some miniatures. And I should warn you right away, I still have a little bit of a cold stuck in my throat, so my voice sounds a bit different this week. Hopefully it'll clear up by next week. This cold was not as bad as the big flu I had early in the year. So yeah. Anyway, dragons. These red dragons are done, all four of them. You can see the two smallest here in big frame. The wormling and the young dragon. And here we get the one just called the fire dragon. And, I was wondering how bright or how dark to go, and I sort of wound up somewhere in the middle, sort of medium bright, because I couldn't decide. Oh well. And I think, I spent a reasonable amount of time on them, considering the amount of detail you can get on Bones miniatures. And here is the big guy, of course, Cinder. Spent a little time on the bases, just adding some texture to make it look a little bit more interesting, but not to overwhelm the miniature itself. Added some... the wings are actually kind of more highlighted in a more dramatic way than the actual scales, because... And I feel that's logical, because scales, they're texture, but they are a little bit flat. They're laying close to the skin. So, yeah. That is, ordinarily I'd say that was a pretty good week of work. But I did actually this week get even more done. Let's see. Ta-da! All of these villagers got done. And, there's a lot of them. I don't know if... Yeah, these are all in shot at the same time. They're not all in focus at the same time, but, this is a huge collection of dudes and dudettes and children. And I completed about half of them at the painting night at the store last Monday. And then I finished up the rest at home, and wow, there's too much to show you here. This episode is going to run along as it is, and you'll just have to look at the still pics at the end for a full overview. But there's a lot of people here, and I think did I mention the basing? Logically, a lot of these people should be indoors, like the tavern folk and the girl sweeping. Why is she sweeping the dirt? I don't know, but they had these integral bases, and they were too big and too many of them to saw off. So I decided that, well, maybe that's an outdoor tavern they're serving at. It's really only the floor sweeper that makes no sense at all. Yeah, you'll just have to suspend your disbelief. Oh, and I put some flowers on their bases just to make it look more happy and cheerful, because these are villagers, and unlike the infected villagers with the tentacles and shit, these are normal, happy townsfolk. These are the NPCs that you should be protecting in your Dungeons & Dragons game, or whatever. Or maybe you give a little bit of an alm to the old beggar and buy something from the tavern keeper. Yeah. A huge chunk of minis painted this week. Rather unlikely that I will get that many done next week. But, these things go up and down. Let's look at what's on the work table. Here on the work table we have the new projects. First up we have Conrad the Barbarian. who has been affixed to space and primed. I started applying some undercoats. I got some gray on the base and a little bit of wood on the brown on the wood haft of the axe, and then I stopped myself and decided, no. I want to take him to the store tonight, and I want to paint him start to finish at the store and see if I can do that. You know, as much as possible. So, and then we have all the demons. They've gotten some very light undercoats, mostly just paint I had left over on my palette and didn't know what else to do with. I'm not sure they're going to stay this way. The illustration on the box has them all in different colors, so yeah, I thought I'd go with that theme. They're not exact representations of any specific D&D demon or devil. I mean, they seem more like devils than demons, to be honest. They seem more the organized type. Most of them have these bat wings, only this guy doesn't. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl. It's either a woman or a man with some really, really amazing pectoral muscles. Oh well. Who says demons have gender anyway? So the wings I'm painting separately. At least I primed them separately, and I'm going to paint the insides of them first, and the figures, and then attach the wings, because having the wings attached to begin with would cover up so much. It would be really, really hard to get in there and paint anything. Of course, now when I attach them, it's going to be obscure detail that I painted, so I'm not going to paint stuff closest to the attachment point very carefully, but I want to get some of the right color in there on each spot, so to speak, just in case somebody peeks into the space between. Yeah, they're let's have a little bit of a look, see at each of them. This one is clearly female, of course. Some sort of cambion or maybe or succubus or alu demon. Again, preliminary colors. Not gonna stay exactly this way, probably. And this guy is more of a typical goat-legged thing. Well, all of them are. The remaining ones, assuming, and the big guy, really angry with a flaming sword, and something. It's kind of, something like a Balrog. The flaming sword always makes me think of that. And the staff kind of makes me think a little bit about the Wand of Orcus. It's like a supersized Wand of Orcus. So this is probably some sort of demon lord or Prince of Hell or the like. And yeah, and again the wings. I had a lot of magenta left over and purple. So yeah. I had one of those ketchup moments where I was squeezing paint out of the bottle and it was kind of blocked, and then I squeezed some harder, and yeah, got a huge blob of paint. That happens a lot with dropper bottles, unfortunately. It's the curse of impatience. I mean, what I should do when I feel that it's blocked, I should take the time to take a pin and unblock it, of course. But sometimes I don't, and I pay the price. Anyway. Assuming I finish these by next week. I'm not sure I will, because I painted a lot this week because I had a lot of time on my hands, but I think I'm going to be relatively busy with other stuff the coming week, so we'll just have to see how it goes. But let's have a look at what I intend to prep next anyway. Okay, new project time, and I'm working on the assumption that what I'm going to be trying out tonight, namely just bringing a couple of figures to the painting night at the store, is going to be a good idea, and that I'm going to continue doing that. So what are my store projects for next week? Well, I decided to pull out some more hassle-free minis because I have a huge collection of hassle-free minis that I bought, and I have not painted almost any of them because, I don't know, I think I've been hesitant because they're so beautiful sculpts. I didn't want to ruin them with my crappy painting skills, but, you know, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and say that I'm good enough. I can do it. and start painting more of them. So, this time around, I thought I'd go sci-fi. I don't often do that. It's mostly fantasy these days. And so I have two guys here, or girls. They're essentially, I think they're supposed to be the same character at different stages of her development. This is when she's just a grunt, and this is when she's become an officer. She has a bit more, I don't know if you can tell, but this looks more like just padded armor, and this looks like solid armor, like stormtrooper armor or something. But she has exactly the same rifle, though, and the pose is the same. So I think it's based on the same dolly, the same body blank. This one is called Scout Prototype 1 on this, but I think it has a different name in the catalog currently. I think this was like a pre-production test casting that I got for some reason. And probably the same thing with this one that doesn't even have a label. I think this also has a different name. You can get these from Hassle-Free now when they have actual names. But they're in the Sci-Fi Humans section. You'll easily find them. And anyway, I thought I'd put them on some sci-fi looking bases from Micro Studios. These are called Temple bases. Somehow I get the idea that it's an alien temple on an alien world of some sort. I get a sort of 40k vibe. Maybe it's the bullet holes in one of them. But I thought these would be cool. Yeah. But I need more stuff to paint at home as well. And what I've decided to do is pull out something from like the bottom of my pile. Not the bottom of the barrel, but like stuff that I bought years and years ago and never got around to. And it's this. What is this? Well, back when I first started, some history, when I first started painting again after a long hiatus of like 25 years, I got into a buying frenzy, and I found some retailers that were clearing stock, and they had really deep discounts on some stuff, and it looked cool, so I bought it. And so I have a lot of that stuff. That's, for example, those Privateer Press minis I painted a while back, the Hordes minis. Those were picked up at that time. And also this. I picked up a lot of minis for a game that was going out of style, so to speak, if it ever was in style, called Alchemy. This is, as I understand, a skirmish game. It's French in origin. The rules have an English translation, though. It came with, there were 4 factions, and here you can see the starter boxes for the other 3. I have these as well, and I think I have all of the minis that they produced with this company, Kraken Editions, which now is defunct, by the way. As far as I know, if they haven't restarted it. I have the complete set of minis for all of them. And they had a system for their releases where each faction got one of these starter boxes, then 2 expansion boxes, and for the Kingdom of Avalon, as it's called, it's these 2. It's this one with 3 guys in it, and yeah, and the starter boxes all have 5 dudes in it, and these 2 expansion boxes have 3 each. And then there was one solo box with like a leader figure of some sort. So 8, 11, 12 minis for each faction. As I said, it's a small skirmish game. And yeah, so I want to try painting up one of these factions at first to see how they are, what they're like, and if they're fun. What can we tell from looking at the... Well, Kingdom of Avalon, Avalon is an old name of England from Arthurian legends, you know? And the dudes look, first glance, mostly like very typical medieval English soldiers. They have these ordinary soldiers in padded jacks with helmets. These are these Norman helmets? No, they're mixed. This guy has a pot helmet, which is a later date. It's like, yeah, long after Norman times. Anyway, we have this typical fry truck looking dude, and we have a knight. However, here's where it starts to get weird. The knight has an arm that looks really mutated or twisted or chaotically changed somehow. And you can see on the artwork here, he's got like vines growing up, and his face looks ugh. So it's not just your bog standard quasi English medieval knights. They're corrupted medieval English knights, so to speak. They've taken on some sort of magic force of chaos or something. And you can tell this dude here is like he's spell casting with some sort of sickly green energy, and the way he's painted, he looks kind of skeletal almost, very sickly as well. So yeah, he's not at all well. What do you say? If you have time to stick around, we can do a little bit of unboxing. Actually, I've taken off the shrink wrap, and time to open this sucker up. What do we have? Well, we have a plastic little tray here. Yep, that was all the contents. And here we have a booklet, which I assume is rules. A little map and some fiction. This one has describes all the factions: Kingdom of Avalon, Orlok Nation, Empire of the Jade Triad, and the Kalman Republic. A little bit. So I'm assuming this booklet is going to be the same for all of them. And we have the rules here. Yeah. We have some stuff. We have some counters. We have cards. Stat cards. Sure. We have bases. These look really small. I'm not sure these are 25mm bases. I'll have to measure them. Oh, here's a measuring tape. How appropriate. See, this is 1 inch. Yeah, no. They're slightly less than 1 inch. So I might replace these with standard 25mm bases. We'll see. And some dice. Some specialized dice. Good game. And the minis. Let's see. And they're like in individual blisters. It says on the box these are plastic minis. I'm not sure if these are... Let me get these guys come in... They're all at least 2 pieces. This one's 2 piece. A lot of them are more. I would say, to me, this feels like a resin, actually. It's a good quality resin. It's not cheap resin, and they're pretty well detailed. Not much in the way of mold lines or other artifacts. I mean, you can tell it's resin because this one has like remnants of a sprue or something of the casting process. Some flashing. Yeah, I believe it's looks like a high quality resin, is what it is. So I'm fine with that. We'll see how it paints up. Let's put this aside and let's look at some of the others. Here's a box of starter. It says starter add-on, and these are just troops. These, you know, these look like your standard medieval soldiers. See, I haven't opened this up. It's still taped. And if we pull this out, we will find the cards and the minis, which look like the same sort of material. Yeah. And then we have this guy who's called Lotharius and Retiari. Retiari is a name for some kind of gladiator, as I recall. And Lotharius might be the name of this dude. Very sickly looking dude. Very chaotic looking. What do we have here? Yeah, same thing. Constable Lotharius is his name. Yeah. And the minis. Oh well. And then we have Deacon Leodegarius. Their packaging has a certain similarity to it. Yeah, here we go. Here's a stat card. Here's the mini. Well, I can see that I have a lot of prep work to do ahead of me to clean these up and assemble them, because they're all multi-piece. But yeah, and maybe I'll read up on the lore, so I get some sort of grasp of who these guys are and how I should paint them. Huh. Big project. Let's move on. Contrary to my expectations, I'm actually going to have a mail call this episode as well. I forgot that there was one object or piece of equipment incoming that is miniatures related, and it's these things. You might wonder, what the heck are these? How is this miniatures related? This is a set of brackets with nuts and screws. From the pictures on their website, you're supposed to, I believe, put the nuts inside this thing and screw like this, and so, and you tighten that to make this tighten around what? Well, these are brackets for mounting in a very particular piece of equipment called a Detolf, which is the kind of display case that I have from IKEA, a big tall glass display case with glass shelves in it. And this is from a company in the UK called Infinity Engine, I believe. They make various little items for role-playing games, some terrain, some resin terrain for miniatures, and some other miniatures-related odds and ends. Among other things, I got a strike rank tracker for RuneQuest from them. And I got some sets of these because I have 3 of these cases, and I want to add extra shelves. And these are, you put them on you put them around the vertical supports, the metal beams, or, well, the beams, they're about this, as wide as this round thing here. And you screw them in place, and then you get a glass cutter to make you new shelves. because trying to get them from IKEA is a waste of time. I've proven that to my satisfaction already. And then you just you get more shelves, and that's incredibly useful. So the only problem I'm foreseeing is maybe putting these on the back supports. I'm not sure I'll have room to actually get a screwdriver in there to tighten them, because they're against the wall, and also there is a glass backing already, and I'm not gonna disassemble the things completely. So we'll see how that works out. And also I need to get a hold of a glass cutter, and one that can deliver, because I don't have a car, so I can pick up that stuff up. And if they're going to deliver it to my home, it has to be during the week I have off from work, so I can be home and meet them. So that means week 16. It's about a month from now is when I'll be able to get this ball rolling, so to speak. And yeah, I'm hopeful it works out, because then I will have a total of 9 new shelves to put minis on. And I sorely need that space, because I am painting so much. But I'll update you when there is anything new to say about this. But for now, this was an episode. As usual, click like, subscribe. I'm not going to say click the notification bell, because I never really got that. That thing seems really intrusive and annoying. So I don't ask any of my subscribers to do that. You just go to your subscription feed if you're subscribed, and you'll see new videos. You know, you're not dumb. Where was I? Oh yes, comments if you have anything particular that you thought was interesting in this episode. And join me here again in a week for more miniatures and more rambling. Till then, this is Dakian, signing off.